आज के लिए हमारे साथ सीनियर मेडिकल एक्यूपंक्चरिस्ट डॉक्टर सुनीता कपूर मैम जुड़ी हैं। नमस्ते मैम, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
नमस्कार।
नमस्ते।
एक्यूपंक्चर ट्रेनिंग में मैम का बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन है। मैंने खैर मैम से नहीं सीखा है, लेकिन कई डॉक्टरों को मैं जानता हूं जिन्होंने मैम से एक्यूपंक्चर सीखा है। और एक्यूपंक्चर पर्सनली मैं यूज करता हूं और इट्स वेरी हेल्पफुल, वेरी इफेक्टिव। हमें एक्यूपंक्चर को अधिक वैल्यू, टीसीएम को अधिक वैल्यू करनी चाहिए। तो इस टॉपिक पर मैम को हम सुनेंगे। लेट्स बिगिन।
रंजन फॉर इनवाइटिंग। एक्यूपंक्चर के बारे में आपने इतना पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस दिया, दैट इज कमेंडेबल। और मैं तो इसे आई थिंक आई हैव बीन प्रैक्टिसिंग फॉर लास्ट 32 years. आई एम अ मेडिकल ग्रेजुएट फ्रॉम लेडी हार्डिंग, and after that I went to China and learned this science and experienced myself also. I was not well and got better with acupuncture, which kept my faith in the system. So after that I said I have to practice this, I have to learn and practice in a more holistic manner. So I learned the basic acupuncture, then I specialized into various aspects of acupuncture for, mainly for gynecological diseases and infertility, and especially in children, Japanese acupuncture in children called shonishin, because children don't take needles so well. So I try to divert myself into various aspects of acupuncture which were, catered to specific types of patients. And but of course, I have been full of case histories and stories about changing patients' lives through acupuncture. They my today's topic is the 5-element differentiation. The body's 5-element differentiation, which I use in every patient of who comes to my clinic, whether the patient is coming for infertility, or I have a lot of patients for post-COVID psychosis who are also coming. Then recently a lot of patients having allergic phenomena, the respiratory system allergy, skin allergy, they have been coming. But at my clinic, I do the 5-element differentiation in all these patients, and that gives a better response. So our body is made up of 5 elements. Like everything else in the universe is made up of 5 elements. कहते हैं ना, जो नेचर 5 तत्व से बना है, हमारी बॉडी भी उन्हीं 5 तत्वों से बनी है। हमारे आयुर्वेदा में वो 5 तत्व का नाम थोड़ा डिफरेंट है, और टीसीएम में उनका नाम है वुड, फायर, अर्थ, मेटल एंड वाटर. These 5 elements, they make everything in the universe as well as our body. And these 5 elements, they have a specific type of characteristic in the nature, that means outside in our environment, and also in our body. For example, the nature of wood is to grow upward like a tree. Tree is growing upwards and expanding outwards. Same way as we grow in our life from child to an adult, we grow upward and, in width also. So this is the characteristic of our wood. So if our wood element is strong, we'll have a good height, we'll have a strong bones. So these all are depending upon the strength of our wood element in the body. Second element is the fire. Fire responds to all the types of activity which requires heat in the body. For example, the circulation of blood or the pumping of heart is due to heart fire. The appetite is because of stomach fire. The eyes, the way we look at things, the eyesight depends upon the liver fire. So there is always a fire required in our body to carry out various bodily activities. So absence of fire can play havoc. If the heart is not beating properly, we get problems in the heart. Liver is not, supplying enough of blood to the eyes, dimness of vision will happen. So that way, like the fire is hot and it flares up, same way in our body, the fire of various organs help us in our day-to-day activity. Uh, the character of earth is to be stable, supportive, and promote the growth of wood, the food growth of trees and plants. Same way in the body, the entire digestive system is the characteristics of the earth. So whatever we eat makes our earth element. So diet is a very, very important factor to balance our earth element, make any changes that are required to treat any disease in the diet. Next is the metal element, where the main characteristic of the metal element is to descend and to be clear, like our lungs. Whenever we inhale oxygen, the entire lung is full of oxygen. It brings the diaphragm down. So the characteristic of the metal is to go downwards under the earth. Same way in the body, the diaphragm goes down to carry all the oxygen that we have inhaled and make it a clear chi, clear energy in the body. ऊर्जा जिसको बोलते हैं, metal के थ्रू ही हमें ऑक्सीजन की जो वो chi मिलती है, that goes into every cell of the body and makes the energy. The ATP cells in every cell is due to a good good metal element in our body. Otherwise, if we lack ATP in our mitochondria in every cell of the body, it's because of a disturbed metal element. Lastly, it's the water element. Water, the characteristic of the water is a little bit calm, cold, flowing downwards, and it moistens everything it flows through. In the body also, the water always keeps our body temperature to a certain level. Otherwise, the fire element in our body will always increase the fire and play havoc. Water balances it. It flows downwards. Downwards means all the uh, uh, waste products in the body are thrown out through a good water element in the body, in the form of urine, in the form of stools. So that is under the control of the water element in the body. So each element has got a special characteristic, and which makes a person healthy. The balance of all these will make a person healthy. So this diagram shows that all the 5 elements in the body, starting from wood, then fire, then earth, then metal, then water, and then back to wood. They are in synchrony with each other. They promote each other, they regulate each other, they control each other. They cannot exist without each other. So there is a nice balance, all the arrows between, them, they suggest that they help in the promotion of each other. For example, for generating fire in the nature, we need wood. Same way in our body, whenever we need to create fire in any of the organs, we need an active wood element. That means a very, very wood element means a very active, healthy liver and gallbladder energy. Okay, and for generating earth, we need fire. Means whatever burns out of fire, whatever ashes are produced, they are the ones which produce earth. So in nature, the earth is produced by the fire. But in our body, the earth element is represented by the stomach and the spleen. And stomach and spleen, they are mainly responsible for digesting the food, healthy food, producing good food energy, and distributing that to the whole body. Then metal, for production of metal in the nature, the metal is produced under the earth. So we need a healthy earth for the production of metal. The metal always flows downwards. In our body, metal means the lungs and the large intestine, means the respiration and our digestion and excretion of the waste material. That is by the metal. Lastly, the water is represented by the kidney and the bladder. means kidney and bladder. Without that, our blood pressure, our acid base balance, our lungs, they do not work. So they all work in harmony to keep the body healthy. And if we see the controlling cycle means the water controls the fire. So if there is excess of fire, we can increase the water to reduce the fire in the body. Suppose if you have a lot of acidity, so that is excess of stomach fire. So for that, what will you take? You will take enough water, enough fluids to put off that fire. So this is the way the elements, they control each other and also generate each other. So these five elements are not an independent entities, but exist in a very intimate relationship with each other. They are opposite. Many of them are opposite, but also governed by the other element. Now, these elements normally, when we grow up, as a child, we all have balanced five elements. But as we are growing and in our journey, the excess and deficiency in the five elements, they come up, right? So what are the excess and deficiency effects on our body because of these five elements? Like, there could be physical effects on the body, organs, tissues, and sense organs. Like if we take the example of wood element, the physical effect of a disturbed wood element would be problems in the liver, problems in the gallbladder, because these are the two organs which are mainly responsible for the wood element in our body, maintaining the wood. And we know liver is so important to detoxify the body. The tissues which come under the wood element are our muscles, ligaments, tendons. So you can imagine our entire skeletal system is under the wood element. If there is disturbance of the wood element, I'll discuss the reasons also why these elements get disturbed. So if there is a disturbance in the wood element, we'll get stiffness of the tendons, ligaments. The walking will be difficult, joint problems will develop. So the sense organ which is attached to the liver is the eye. So our vision is all under the control of wood element. So as we age, our wood element also reduces. As a result, we lose the eyesight, we develop cataract, we develop lot of eye problems. That is because of the diminishing of the wood element in our body. So similarly, every element has got some physical effect on the body, which can lead to a particular problem in either the organ, the tissue, or the sense organ, which is represented by that particular element. Second effect in every element pertains to a particular type of emotion. For example, if we again take the example of wood element, the emotion which the wood element control in us is that of anger. So, it keeps us calm, quiet, and respond very, very calmly in a situation where we would, tend to get angry. But if the wood element is disturbed, in that case, person is very short-tempered, loses his anger very, very easily, and very, very difficult to calm down. They are like typical type A personality that we see in, most of the offices. So, and personality-wise, these patients are very, very difficult to deal with. They have their own mindset, very, very difficult to change their mindset. And all these mental effects will become very, very strong if the wood element is disturbed in these patients. So all the five elements in our body will, if there is an imbalance in these five elements, there will be specific mental effects of that problem, leading to changes in emotions and personality. Third effect would be the effect in the social relationships of the patient. You know, suppose a wood, there is excess of wood in the wood element. So excess will always lead to excess of anger in the persons, which will spoil the relationship. But if there is deficiency in that person, that person, although there is no anger at all, but there will be so much of depression in that person again would not be able to keep up with the relationship. So in both the cases, whether the element is in excess or it is in deficiency, both the cases, the relationship will be gone. And mostly the most important effect on the body or on the health of the patient is the spiritual health. That is, our link with the higher consciousness is not, we are not able to maintain that link with the higher consciousness if any one of our five elements are disturbed. So all the factors of health are disturbed once even a single element is disturbed in the patient. Most important is to diagnose that which element is disturbed. So I'll just give you some of the examples to tell you, to help you diagnose yourself that in which category do you occur. Mostly we are born with a dominant element in our life, through, because we get the genes from our parents. Uh, so we get, usually we get one of the parents dominant element as ours. If our one of the parents has got a wood dominance, wood element dominance, maybe we are wood element. If one of the parents is fire dominance, maybe we get that fire element dominance. Dominance means we are prone to the prone to a nature which fits into that element. We are prone to emotions, adaptability to that element. We are prone to diseases of that organ, tissue, or sense organ pertaining to that particular element. This is what is called dominant element in our life. We are born with that, we can't help out. But once we recognize that we have this element dominant in our body, then we can always take care of it through physical, mental, social, spiritual efforts, and also our diet. So let me tell you a few of the examples of these elements. Like in the wood element, usually the person would be tall with strong bones and joints, right? And his main organs, if he has got a strong wood element, his liver and gallbladder would be very strong. He would be type of a person who would take quick decisions. He would be like a leader. He would like to lead the work or a team. He would love the challenges. As a personality, he would be very hardworking and loves to take challenges, right? On the other hand, if his wood element is very disturbed or very deficient, then he'll be very timid. It will be very difficult for him to take decisions. And he will be more prone to getting liver organ diseases like cirrhosis or chronic liver diseases. And he would not have any control over his anger. That's very important. The sense organ I already told you is eye, which can get disturbed. Our vision can get disturbed if the wood element is disturbed. Tendons as tissues, and sour taste. If people who have excess of wood element, how would they recognize that they have excess? They would not like to eat sour things. They would not like lemon or citrus fruits or anything sour in their diet. So that means they have lack of wood element. Or they have excess of wood element in them. So they won't like anything sour to take in. But if they have deficiency of wood element, they will crave for sour things. So this is very important. If they have a craving कि हर चीज में नींबू डाल के खाना है, so that means they have deficiency of wood element, right? And wood element pertains to green color. Green color, how we recognize that a person has got excess wood element from the face. We see the face of the person, and especially the areas like above the eyes, on the temple, around the lips, and on the ala nasi. These areas, if they show dark greenish tinge, that means this person has got excess of wood element. So we have to see the person in broad daylight and look for any excessive greenish discoloration of the face on these areas. So that suggests us. Even the person can see these himself, take a mirror, go out and see if there are presence of these green areas around the mouth or eyes and on the temple area, then we should be careful about our wood element and try and control it. Then the environmental factor and season, when the wood element may become excessive in a normal person, are when there is excessive wind, especially in the spring season. Like all the wind diseases, they are caused in the spring season. For example, urticaria, aggravation of pains like rheumatoid arthritis. So all this suggests that the wood element is increased in the body, but that is mainly due to the environmental factors. And growth and development is a sign of the good growth and development is a sign of the healthy wood element in the body. Like a seed, when it germinates, that is because of the presence of good wood element in the under the soil. That means the quality of the seed is very good, right? But once the wood element becomes out of balance, whether it is deficiency or excess, the person becomes angry, very mean, and cranky. Similar way, if we look at the fire element, the body type of the fire element would be pointed features, small hands, very quick, and very energetic. This type of person loves attention, like we call some people an attention seeker. They are typical fire element. They are very talkative. They will talk and they will make others also talk. They are very, very happy go lucky people, very, very joyful, but also very, very sensitive. So you have to be very, very careful. They get disturbed very easily. If anybody talks negative, they are the people who gets very disturbed. So, but fire element by and large are very happy go lucky person. So joy is the main emotion in them. So if fire element is excess, they are like excessive joyful all the time. They are laughing, making people laugh, talking all the time. But if they lack fire element, they are absolutely disturbed, very, very depressed. Like the patient with infertility I told you was. So that could be deficiency of the fire element in them. The main organ which is involved in the fire element is heart and small intestine in our body. And according to TCM, the heart also controls all the brain activity through a pericardium channel, right? So pericardium also comes under the fire element. So the activity of our heart, the pumping action, the circulation of blood in all the vessels is under the control of fire element. So it is so important for our body. The sense organ where the fire element comes is the tongue. So, and tongue is required for taste, tongue is required for speaking. So, if there is any problem in speech, if there is any problem in the taste, some people say the food doesn't taste good or it is tasteless. Whatever best food we eat, but it is tasteless. That means these patients lack fire element in their body. And some people say muh kadwa ho raha hai, that our always we feel that the mouth mein na kuch bitter cheese hai. So that means they have excess of fire in the body. This fire excess, is mostly in the heart. And when they have excess of fire in the heart, the most important symptom is insomnia. They cannot sleep well. So if you are not sleeping well, always look for any problems in rest of the areas of the five element, and I'll give you some of the tips to show that how we can improve our fire element. Taste, I told you, is bitter whenever the fire element is in excess. And color is red, at on the face, if at these areas which I earlier told you, there is reddish discoloration of the face, that shows that the fire element is disturbed. In environment, the fire element always represents growth, right? But the fire element can easily get disturbed in summer months when there is excessive heat. So a person who has got a healthy fire element can get disturbance of this element in summers due to excessive heat. And when the fire element gets out of balance, that means either excess or deficient, the person becomes like a drama queen. They throw tantrums, and they won't listen to anybody. They get paranoid on small things. So these are the people whom you can identify that their fire element is disturbed. Third is the earth element. The body type of the earth element would be, they have large features, large body, strong legs. Even they are a little fat. Earth element people are slightly towards the obese side. They are very friendly. They're very calm, generous, very, very caring, like our Earth Mother. Very caring. You ask them for one advice, they'll give you 10. And they will give you advice even without asking. They are the Earth element people. And they also expect that you also care for them. So they always, crave for care from everybody. So you can make out in your family or in yourself, if any one of you want that, always, the other person should be speaking softly to me, should be caring about me. That means you belong to a dominant earth element types. And your main emotion would be worry on every small aspect. Suppose if you've got the blood test in the morning, so immediately after the blood test, you would expect the result, and you will be worrying till the results come. So that kind of personality is a disturbed earth element. And mainly our digestive system is related to the earth element. So disturbed earth element, you will have a lot of digestive issue. Diabetes belongs to this particular element group. And sense organs are the mouth and the lips. So the dryness of lips, or cracks on the lips, or ulcers on the lips or mouth, they all belong to the earth element. And the tissues which earth element takes care of is our muscles. So our muscles are kept strong, and the bulk of the muscle is produced because of the healthy earth element. We get a lot of patients of muscular dystrophy. So they are the patients like in which the earth element is very, very weak. And taste is sweet. People who eat a lot of sweet, that means they have deficient earth element. People who do not like sweet, that means they have excess of earth element. And nowadays, who doesn't like sweet? Everyone likes sweet. So that means they have got deficiency of the earth element. And deficient earth element means poor digestion. And color is yellow. To look for yellow discoloration on the face at various areas. That will give you the clue that this element is disturbed. And this element can get disturbed in a normal person in late summer, that's the rainy season, and when there is a lot of dampness. Right now is the late summer, damp weather. So our earth element can get disturbed mainly due to the food that we eat. So it's very, very important to eat right kind of food. Avoid the damp food at this time, rainy season. When the earth element gets out of balance, it's mainly the person becomes very worrisome and very overprotective. Regarding overprotective, we doctors become overprotective about our patients. At home, you become overprotective about your family members. So this is the reason due to the imbalance of the earth element. The metal element, the body type is triangular features with strong voice, because metal organ which are related to metal element are lung, that means our voice, that includes our voice, and our large intestine, means the excretion of the waste through the stools. These people are very meticulous in their work. They are strong-willed, very, very focused. If a person says, I have to do this, he will do that. They're very focused and independent characters. So typical metal person, it is very difficult for these people to smile. If a person is not smiling in spite of your best effort, that means his metal element is dominant. So very, very difficult to make a metal person smile. So it's very, very easy to identify a metal person. And the main emotions which can disturb the metal element is the grief. They easily get grief, easily disturbs our metal element. And the color is white. On the face at various areas, it is a whitish ashen tinge that you'll see at certain areas, which will tell us that this metal element of this person is disturbed. The metal element, it opens into the nose, right? So a sense of smell is under the control of metal element. So many people after COVID have lost sense of smell, that because the COVID attacked their metal element. Then skin and body hair are under the control of metal element, right? And the taste is pungent. The people who like pungent means they lack metal element, and vice versa. And during the autumn weather, around October, November weather in Delhi, the metal element is most likely to get disturbed because there is excessive dryness in the atmosphere. So our lungs dry up, so we get a lot of lung issues like asthma and dry cough. Okay, and in the nature, it's the reaping of the all the crops which take place. So generating a new crop is the metal element sign in the nature. And when this nature is out of balance, the person becomes very anxious, very oblivious, and all the obsessive compulsive disorders can develop in a metal person if there is deficiency or excess of metal element. Lastly, it's the water element, right? Where the body type is round features with a very strong digestion and enjoys movement. Means this water element people loves exercises. As a personality, these people are very loyal, but they have very few loyal friends. Very, very smart, and they always like to spend more time with the family. They're like family person. Some people you can vouch for that these people are family people, that they won't go out, they don't want any friends from outside family, they would like to spend maximum time with the family. So these people, they belong to water element. And what disturbs the water element most is the fear, and vice versa. If in your body the water element is disturbed, it will create a lot of fear, phobias. These people they have a lot of phobias, small phobias like phobia of height, claustrophobia. So all these people, they belong to the disturbed water element. They develop these. Then the main organs which are related to water element are kidney and bladder, which are responsible for removing all the waste from our body and maintaining our blood pressure, acid-base balance, right? And our hearing is dependent on the water element. A good water element means healthy hearing. Otherwise, as we age, our water element also declines. So we develop hearing problem. The bones, they belong to water element. As we age, we start to develop osteoporosis, osteopenia, osteoarthritis. So all bony problems, that means our water element is declining. People who lack water element like more salt in their diet. So if you're taking excess salt in the diet, that means the water element is declining in your body. So you can take extra salt, but that doesn't mean that your water element will be replaced. It will be balanced by taking extra salt, but it's just an indication that it is out of balance, and you should make an effort to balance the water element. And the color we'll see on the face, on these areas around the mouth, eyes, and temple, will be dark, black or bluish discoloration, right? So that will give us the idea of disturbed water element. Water element can get disturbed in a normal person in the winter weather, especially when it is very cold, right? And water element in the environment, so means the storing of the grains, after the autumn, after cutting the crops, they are stored. So storing, and usually the animals, they go into hibernation, so that's a sign of good water element. When it gets out of balance, the person becomes very fearful and develop a lot of phobias. So I'll just quickly finish my uh, topic by just giving you some take-home messages to balance 5 elements. For balancing the wood element, very, very important is to calm down, and meditation will really help you. And wood, people who have disturbed wood element will seek for meditation. They will find solace in meditation. They will really feel very good with meditation. Some elements like fire element disturb people. It's very, very difficult for these people to sit down for meditation, and they will not get benefit out of doing meditation because they just cannot do meditation, the fire element people. So wood element, they must do meditation. This will help them to control their anger, because controlling their anger is going to keep their liver and gallbladder strong. And a strong gallbladder, कहते हैं ना जिसका जिगरा strong होता है वो आदमी क्या नहीं कर सकता दुनिया में. So keeping a strong liver and gallbladder is going to keep the entire body detoxified and healthy. These patients should avoid alcohol. People who have disturbed element can easily damage their liver. So no alcohol. It's not that the people who have this other disturbed elements can have alcohol, but this is especially for people who have wood element disturbed, because alcohol will definitely damage their liver. And then they can add green color to their food. Food which is green in color, the vegetables, the fruits, they can eat more of those, and also wear green color dresses. This is found to increase the wood element if it is deficient. Okay, but if they have excess of wood element, then they should avoid wearing green or eating green colored food, fruits and vegetables in their diet. The fire element people should sweat it out. It means they have to reduce the heat in their body by increasing the sweating. By and large, fire element people, they have their pores, skin pores blocked. So it is very difficult for them to sweat. Many of the people would say, oh, I do so much of exercise, but I never sweat. So these are the fire element people in which there is a lot of excess of fire in them. So they should make an attempt to sweat out, like do a lot of exercise, running, or steam, sauna, these kind of activities. Music therapy is very, very calming, very, very relaxing for the fire, for balancing the fire element in the body. And then you can add red color food, all the food items which are red in color, not the red chilies, but the red fruits like apple. You can take anything, carrots, which are red in color food. They will always balance your fire element. Same way, wear red color clothes. Then for earth element, a daily consistent exercise, whether it is a daily walk or whether it is a daily yoga, on daily basis is very important. The moment we leave exercise on that day, the earth element goes out of balance. So for them, a daily routine of simple exercise regime is very, very important. They can add yellow color to their dress and food, eat yellow colored food, and they should avoid sweets, because sweets and fried things, they disturb our earth element. And I find in my clinic, most of the patients, 80% of the patients who come have disturbed earth element. So it's very, very difficult. Even though patient is coming with, say, knee arthritis, pain in the knees, But when we do the 5 element discrimination, we see that it is the earth element which is the main cause of the pain in the knees. So it becomes difficult just to treat the earth element with needles. You have to tell them that you have to go in for exercise every day. You have to stop eating sweets and you have to stop worrying. So these are very, very important factors to balance your earth element, and gradually then we only will be able to treat your knee arthritis, right? So same way, metal element, people require a lot of breathing exercises. Then only, their metal element will generate. So breathing exercise in the form of pranayam or any type of breathing exercise, any type of pranayam will generate more energy in their metal element. And they can add white color to their dress and eat food which are white in color. That will help in promoting their metal element. And moisten with lot of fluids. Metal element people, if they have disturbed this, they have to drink a lot of water, drink a lot of fluids, coconut water, nimbu pani. These things are very much required for a disturbed metal element. And for a disturbed water element, they should avoid excessive cold environment and cold food, because coldness always disturbs the water element. And nowadays, what is more disturbing is the air conditioner that we live in most of the time. That disturbs our water element. So we should avoid as much as possible, be with the nature with the windows open. Avoid excessive salt, because excessive salt will disturb the water element. And add black or blue dress, wear those, and eat food which are black or blue in color. Like we have plums, we have black grapes, right? Jamun. All these things are very healthy for generating the water element. So thank you so much. And that's all about the
Wonderful, ma'am. It's very interesting. It's exciting.
questions are most welcome.
या दोस्तों, अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। नॉलेज को बहुत सिंप्लीफाई करके मैम ने बताया है। थोड़ा ये टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट हो जाता है, बट बहुत अच्छा मैम ने एक्सप्लेन किया। जो लोग एक्यूप्रेशर एक्यूपंक्चर को एक्सप्लोर कर रहे होंगे उनको बहुत ये इनलाइटनिंग लग रहा होगा।
हाँ, उनके लिए तो ये काफी नॉलेजेबल है ही। बट मैं चाह रही हूँ कि हमारे जो भी लिसनर्स हैं, चाहे वो एक्यूपंक्चर स्पेशलिस्ट नहीं है, बट भी अगर वो ये इस नॉलेज को अगर आप जैसे यूट्यूब पे ये डालेंगे, तो इससे कीप ऑन लिसनिंग इट अगेन एंड सीइंग द स्लाइड्स आल्सो, एंड दे आइडेंटिफाई देयर एलिमेंट, they can immediately correct it through these simple and small measures. वरना आप देखिए कि कौन एफर्ट करता है कि भाई मेरे को जो है ये ब्लैक एंड ब्लू ही आज खाना है, they won't. But if they know that my water element seems to be disturbed because why am I feeling fearful, or why am I having phobia, the moment you realize that, you feel, your water element is disturbed, तो अगर ये खाने से भी मेरा बेटर हो सकता है, they should try it and then they will see the effect.
यस।
Yeah.
किन्हीं के पास कोई सवाल हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं।
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask you if we eat multicolored fruits like in salad, tomato, chukandar, gajar, इस तरह की चीजें लें every day, so will that will lead to balance our 5 elements?
Absolutely. तभी हम कहते हैं कि जब भी आप खाना खाने बैठे हैं तो देखें कि उसके अंदर सभी कलर्स के सब्जियां हो या फ्रूट्स हो, डिफरेंट कलर्स की। और अब आपको पता चल गया है कौन कौन से कलर ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हैं, तो कोशिश करें कि उनको बिल्कुल 5 कलर्स को मिला के खाएं, तो और ज्यादा अच्छा है।
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.